indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, start with this. Roll call, please.
Brumman,
Here.
Small,
Here.
Gothier.
Here.
Brady,
Here.
Thompson.
Here. Set the motion to approve the minutes from October 20th.
Don't have a problem with the motion, but with the outcome of, on the first page, just halfway down, just below halfway down, we have a motion to waive the fees for the soil erosion, but that didn't happen. I understand they paid the base fee.
Yeah, they were supposed to pay the $35. And
That's not what this says. This says to waive the fees.
oh. They were waived, so they waived. the-
X and Y don't agree.
Yeah,
So,
they waived the commit fee. They still paid the application.
we need to either refund that and make our minutes match, or we need to amend what we intended to have happen.
I think you need to amend it because they were planning on paying that.
Yes, if you want a motion to amend the motion is
You can't change the motion.
motion to.
We got to read.
You have to have a new motion to modify the waiving of fees for soil erosion to the Black River Park project and collect the registration or the initiation or the application fee, but waive all other fees, something to that effect. It would seem to me, but I feel there's inconsistency with what happened and what our motion said.
Would that be a motion for, did you just
Is that
indicate?
an amendment to the
Go
motion?
for
I'll second to what Karen just said.
You know that?
Could you please repeat it?
That's what I figured. So it's a motion to amend the previous motion.
No, you can't,
No, a new motion to approve the waiving,
you can say to correct the
to
statement.
correct the statement from the last meeting.
The meeting of October 20th.
Yep. Keep wording it. You're doing a great job.
Gotcha, thanks. Move to correct the action reflected in the motion by Brady, supported by Thompson, and approved by the board regarding it in the October 20th, 2021 meeting regarding the fees for the soil erosion permit at Black River. The correction would bear forth that the soil erosion permit application fee. Did you take shorthand in high school? That the application fee will be paid by the applicant. All other fees are to be waived.
Motion by Carolyn, second by Bill.
I didn't make that motion. I just told you what I thought I'd be.
All right. Bill, motion by Bill, second by Adam.
All right.
Fantastic. And by the way, they haven't taught shorthand in high school in a very, very long time.
Well, you had high school. I mean, I didn't graduate from high school. What can I say?
Okay, we have a motion. Any further discussion?
We have a motion to approve the minutes first,
Okay,
I think, don't we?
we do. You're right. No, nobody came forward with that.
Nobody.
I will move to approve the minutes of the October 20th, 2021.
Okay.
Period.
Support.
Moved and seconded. Approve the minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
Now, do we need to vote on what you just said?
Yep.
We need to have that motion.
So now Trina, the second motion, modify the first motion or clarify the first motion or whatever we're doing here.
I got it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
And
Thanks for bringing that to our attention, Carol.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thank you.
All day without that.
Oh, well. Business is taken care of now, so we're good. Next item, public comment, limited 3 minutes. State your township and your name, please. Sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Wilson. I am from Alcona Township in Black River. And I want to come here and just talk in front of the board today. Some of you may know me. I am currently part-time paramedic for Alcona County EMS. And I just wanted to kind of voice some concerns I've been having lately about the EMS and some of the new policies that are being enforced. Strictly new policies being written, and then those new policies not even being enforced the way they're written. I'm really alarmed about it because we're having short staffing. There's becoming mandatory shifts. And the short staffing has been building for quite some time, where we had some time to correct this over the last 4 or 5 years that I worked there. At one point, we had 6 instructor coordinators that could have taught an EMT class. We were an MFR licensed agency for education. We had to bring it up 1 level. We were never able to do that for whatever reason. It was never addressed. We talked about it multiple times. Oh, we'll do it when we renew our license. It still hasn't come to fruition, where we have not been able to bring more people in our county, teach them to become EMTs, and if they fit in well, they can move on to paramedic through the contract. I've been bringing this up to my bosses a little bit here and there. My wife and I currently both work for the county. Under the new policy, if I'm at work and my wife gets called and is mandated, she has to choose between taking care of our kids or getting fired. And I explained to the bosses that I can't work for you like this because I can't risk her losing her job. I was strictly told by my boss, it was my wife's duty to stay at home and take care of the kids. It was my job to make the money. By the boss. This is coming from them. The same bosses are also telling other EMTs that applied that were older that they were too old to hire for being full-time. So we have this problem where we're creating a toxic environment between policies that we're not even following the policies we write. Then the way they're written, it sounds like, yeah, they're legit. Emergency staffing, all that stuff. Emergency staffing for the county only requires 1 ALS rig. What they're doing is they're mandating people 8 days from the shift, saying it's emergency coverage, but you're mandated over a week from now. There's a week of people willing to pick up in there. When it's brought up, hey, how about we offer some incentives? Well, there's no money. When you bring up why there's no money, you start going back to, well, money's already spent, you can't do anything about it. But one of the issues we kind of ran into was we had 3 cardiac monitors. 1 possibly had an issue. We bought 5 cardiac monitors, and now all 5 of them have that issue. And when we keep having problems with them, with the technicians, they say, well, they're not really meant for doing what you're doing. Well, how do we fix this? Well, we're going to try doing this. We're going to try doing that. And it still comes back to, well, they really weren't meant to do what you're doing. They work fine downstate because they don't have to transport as far. But no one was offered insight on this. We had another instance where we had equipment we were demoing. We weren't allowed to use that demoed equipment for the first part of our trial, where I personally had to ask the sales rep to extend that because we had to wait for certain training that I was qualified to teach. I wasn't allowed to teach it. We got an extension on it, and then it was never utilized like it should have been. And it was a CPR device to help out, especially out in Glenny where there's no first responders. I don't have the answers to this. I can tell you that mandating overtime and having the boss go, you will do what I say, I'm the boss, is going to create a worse environment because there's other agencies close to here that are paying $24 an hour for an EMT on certain premiums, starting wage of $19 an hour as an EMT, $5,000 sign-on bonus at MedStar for an EMT, $7,500 for paramedic. My wife can't even go to paramedic school right now under this new policy because if it's on a school day and she's mandated to work, there's nothing she can do. She has to show up. Then they're not even getting a hold of people. They're just calling their number and automatically assigning them the shift. My wife didn't have a text message saying, you're not up, but you're up now. No one else answered. That's not even following the policy that was written. It was saying a shift. Some people got mandated for 2 shifts in a row, 24 hours. Some people got mandated for 12. I understand there's need to cover the county, but I don't think mandating people, especially when there's 2 paramedics sitting in the office, that the reason we hired paramedics was so they could help out and fill the shifts. Now, I do know that sometimes some shifts were filled by our directors. They came in late, they left early, and during that time frame, most people, including myself, was told, I'm not familiar with your charting program. You do the report. So literally, we were paying someone to come in to drive me around for me to do it, but yet that person is the one that's telling me if I did my report properly or not, but they're not familiar with the program. I really hope you guys sit down and evaluate this. The only thing I can really ask is maybe go talk to the membership of Alcona County EMS. Last time this stuff came up before, there were some problems with the boss. One of the people got fired. They already said they're not taking the bullet this time. When I came in front of one of the commissioners before, which he's not here anymore, I told my boss that I had done it because I went up through the chain. And I was told that this time it would be forgiven, but next time there could be punishment because I didn't follow chain of command. I have been talking and voicing my opinion about this issue on deaf ears. I really hope we can come together and find a solution, because I can tell you right now, it's not people trying to make the boss look bad. It's they don't want to come to work. It's already a stressful job. Bosses are making it more stressful. Sometimes the equipment's not working, like computers. I'm sure you guys have all seen our trucks have been breaking down or in maintenance and stuff like that, cycling. We have one being remounted. There's a bunch of different things going on. Most people want to stay here because it's their community, but with the conditions that are currently starting to form, it's a perfect storm to lose the agency, because eventually you won't be able to staff 2 ALS ambulances. Then you won't be able to staff 2 ambulances at all. And that's what I'm really afraid of, because if you mandate people that work elsewhere, because the schedule they have and the pay we get, they can. As soon as you start mandating the other days they work, we just lost another person. So now it's 48 hours more that's open. So we're going to start going through the mandating list further. There's at least 4 or 5 people that work other places out of your 14 full-time staff. And your part-time staff doesn't have regular shifts to keep them on the hook. That has always been a problem, where we always had part-time staff, but if you don't have regular scheduled shifts, you go elsewhere to work, all of a sudden a shift becomes available. You're not available to work that shift because you had to go somewhere else to get work. You had to make money for your family. And in the long run, I'm really worried that my wife's going to end up losing her job because of this mandation policy. And I'm scared to pick up, because if I pick up and then all of a sudden she's mandated, does that mean she's automatically fired? I have 2 young kids at home, a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old in Black River. You do not know how hard it is to find someone to watch someone under 1, especially during COVID. And for her to be mandated and have maybe 20 minutes notice to find a babysitter, if she finds a babysitter, how much do you think that's going to cost her family? This is a very delicate situation, and I really hope you guys, before we do any more or any other decisions are made, you guys at least talk to the membership, see why they won't come in, because it might be they're overworked, they're tired, or they just don't want to go into work because every time they go into work, they're so frustrated, they feel like beating their head against the wall. So I appreciate everyone's time. I'm sorry if I went over. Thank you again.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, hearing none. Moving on, Dr. Kurt Wood.
Good afternoon. Thank you for your time. I am here before you today with a highly amended document than when I was here a month or so ago. Hopefully you'll find it much improved also. The only problem is I've been continuing to amend it up until last night. So the document you have in front of you in your packet is not the exact document I would like you to consider. So if that would be okay with you, I would give you the new one, as well as the deputy clerk. You will find it a highly stripped down document compared to not only what I brought here before, but what has been passed or adopted by other counties throughout the state. I just happened to see the resolution that was passed by Kalkaska County. It's 2 pages, as well as one by Missaukee County, which was double the length of this. So as an update, if this was the original resolution that was passed by Grand Traverse County, passed by Muskegon County, Genesee, Sanilac, Montmorency, and then just recently by Missaukee and Kalkaska. Honestly, it could be passed by more counties than I'm aware of. I'm not on any list that gets notification when a county passes this. So it's possible that there are more counties that have passed this or not than I know of. If you don't mind, I'd like to read it. It is a declaration in support of vaccine awareness and medical autonomy. Whereas we, the Alcona County Board of Commissioners, as elected officials, have solemnly sworn an oath to support the Constitution of the state of Michigan. Whereas our citizens, being informed about the risks and benefits of any available medical treatment such as vaccines, yet maintain the sacred inalienable right to make autonomous choices about their own health. Therefore, the Alcona County Board of Commissioners encourage all businesses within the county to respect individuals' rights to medical autonomy. Therefore, the Alcona County Board of Commissioners choose not to require any form of vaccine or similar medical treatment verification from any employee, prospective employee, or contractor as a general condition of employment. Further, the Board of Commissioners will encourage employers located within Alcona County not to establish conditions that so hinder medical autonomy. Further, the Alcona County Board of Commissioners recognizes and commends all healthcare workers throughout the county for their hard work and dedication during this difficult time. What we tried to do, based upon your feedback after the last meeting, the previous resolution was several fold. Number one, we took out any requirement for the commissioners to send this to either any counties in Michigan or throughout the United States, obviously. There was some verbiage in the previous resolution saying mandating or shall not or will not. That has been removed. And there's nothing about masks in this most recent resolution also. Or declaration, I won't call that a resolution. As you probably know, after the previous meeting, the commissioners had some concern as to whether this resolution, the resolution had the support of the citizenry. So what I undertook was to go into each of the townships to try to gauge support for this document at the townships. Didn't get to all of them. I didn't get to Harrisville City. I didn't get to the village of Lincoln. I didn't go to Curtis Township, but the Dobbses went, who you know. And we have passed that. 5 townships adopted the resolution as it was originally presented to you last time. That was Haines, Hawes, Guston, Caledonia, and Mankato. None of the other townships failed to put it. It didn't fail. It hasn't put up for a vote at any other townships, either because they were short a member or didn't get enough votes to put a vote on, or they wanted their lawyer to take a look at it, or wanted to post it for public review. And in one case, the township clerk did not get the documents out to the township board in time. So I'm going back to all the other ones this month, and hopefully by next month we'll have gauged the support throughout the county. So I hope you would take a look at this. We purposely stripped it down to try to make it as non-confrontational and as non-controversial as possible. If you compare it to some of the other resolutions that were just recently passed, I hope you agree, because I really wanted it to be something that not only you could support, but the other locals of government, the other local branches of government could all get behind and support. So no one wants to be forced, just browbeaten into signing something. I would hope you would find this acceptable to you. If there's still something in this that is not acceptable, I'd be more than happy to meet with you personally and make further amendments.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would ask that this be placed under new business.
Commissioner Brown is watching this be placed under new business. Moving on. Well, let's go to claims.
Missy.
Oh, son of a gun. I'm so sorry, Missy. I didn't even do that on purpose. Hey.
It's all right.
you did.
I'll forgive you.
I'd like to blame it on his bifocals, but I don't need those yet, so.
Oh, you're lucky. I will have a very brief report for you. This would be for the third quarter, which ended obviously September 30th, and time got away from me. And after the second meeting last month, I thought, oh, I didn't give the quarterly update. So I know that was all emailed out to you. I didn't print out extra sheets. the number of documents that we're recording continue to be around 400 or 400 plus per month. So, I mean, by looking into the future, I mean, I'm foreseeing we're going to record probably 4,800 to 5,000 documents by the end of the year, which would be up from previous years. Property sales in September, I mean, we had 111 property sales in September. August had 65 and July 86. So we had a total for the quarter of 262 property sales, bringing in $31 million in property sales. So, I mean, property is still moving right along. We haven't really seen anything slowing up. So it's been very busy in the office. Just a couple other things. I did attend a conference in September. That was very good. They actually had a lot of very good topics for newer registers. So that was some very helpful information received there. And then a few months ago, myself and the treasurer had started the process of what is called paperless reporting, which would be the documents presented from the treasurer, the certificates of forfeiture, certificates of redemption. The program in our office had the option to allow that to be done in a paperless format. And so yesterday we successfully recorded 10 certificates of redemption. Things went very smoothly. I'm sure we're still going to have a few more little quirks to work out, you know, as we go. This was just the first time, but all in all, I think we will both see from both offices, I mean, very positive results, because it was a lot less handling of the document. You know, we're not gonna have to print a whole ream of paper and all that good stuff. So, yes, so that was, I think that is it.
Make sure we hit the campaign trail. You talked about that. That's a good feather in your cap.
So, anyways, moving forward, I don't know what's coming next, but I guess we shall see.
Percentage of increase over last year, do you have anything close?
I
Guesstimate's fine.
over last year, I would say I would think, yes, I would say there's been an increase over last year. How much, I'm not sure, but
Check your minutes from.
I mean, yes, I mean, that is information I can get to you. I mean, I can go back in my records and see what I had presented last year for all of that. I can email that out for sure. Just give you an idea, but
You know you're out, there's definitely.
Yeah.
I was just wondering
Yeah.
if you had any idea what the percentage goes up.
I
You
do
know.
not. I do not. Not off the top of my head.
That's good.
So, all right. Any other
Thanks.
questions?
No.
Thank you.
Now, let's do the claims.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the pre-authorized claims and open claims presented for payment between October 20th, 2021 and November 2nd, 2021. For check numbers 145789 to 145898, and each check numbers 1690 to 1717 for a grand total of $681,320.36.
Second.
Motion in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Brady,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Gothier,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes,
Small.
Yes.
Next item, PILT, payment in lieu of taxes for Mitchell Curtis from Millen Township, received from communications. I'll defer to Terry for the rest of this conversation.
Thank you. We've received letters from Mitchell, Millen, and Curtis requesting belt lines that the county has for either 2 years that they've taken. And I'll use the word taken. It sounds hard. They're requesting it back. They needing their monies, just like all of us do. They're, when they lost those revenues, we're talking about close to an average of 15% of their budgets. If this county lost 15% of their budget, that'd be a sizable. Probably would not be able to. I'm gonna make a motion at this time that we do give the money back, the help monies. We distribute it back to the counties as it was before.
What amount are you?
Those are the amounts.
As
I
it was
believe the
before.
amount, I believe
50% or
50, well, yeah, we said 50%
Usually 50.
was the amount that we were giving before, I believe. Now, I wasn't part of that conversation, so I believe it was 50%. The county kept 50% of the Pelt money. 50% was then divided among the townships and distributed to them.
did all three letters reference federal?
Yes, I believe so.
Only federal.
Yeah, there's no, not talking about state, or
There's-
federal states. or-
Excuse me, folks, there's a motion on the table.
Yes.
I support.
Second by Bill. Now you can hash it out. No problem.
I guess one of the reasons, things that, when you look up stuff on the Pelt money and so on, there's a strong possibility that this is going to be totally altered and possibly eliminated within 1 year. That would slow me from taking any action on it. I understand that they acknowledge and recognize the loss to their revenue. And it may be an average between the three townships. It may be an average of 15%. I don't think it is, but it may be.
What is in, excuse me, what is in my Gator Township that they lost?
I can't give you the numbers off the top of my head. They did lose.
I mean, these are all, we're talking roughly 15%, I would say. Let's use 10 to 15%, would that be better?
I don't agree with your 15%, but I do not have the figures in front of me,
Mhm.
and I'm not going to give an alternative guess.
Okay.
We are providing the law enforcement.
Mhm.
We are providing some towards the educational element because we are now going to have someone in the school. I just feel that some of the things that the law identifies for the money to be spent on are appropriate for us to utilize the money ourselves.
I have to ask, what is school? What do you mean?
School liaison.
Okay, school liaison, which two of these townships don't have, aren't part of that school system.
So then are you going to segregate out those that are and those that aren't? And I don't know what the Mio schools have as far as school liaison. If they have, I don't know that. That information has not been brought to me, Terry. I just, good, bad, or indifferent, I would have to vote no on the motion.
Mhm. I understand that.
And I also understand you bringing it to us.
Well, when you represent 90% of the federal ground in your district, you almost have to. And the first thing that they ask you when you go to a meeting is, can you get our Pelt money back?
And it's the last thing they ask, and then they ask it at the next meeting also.
Yes.
I
I'm sure my kid has done that many times too.
I recognize, and that's the position that you are in, and, but respectfully, I would still have to vote no on it.
The argument is, and I understand the policing of the area, okay. The thought was that these monies go to the sheriff's, or staying in the county, go to the sheriff's department to do road patrol out in the national forest. I believe that's been presented before. And that's probably true. And EMS would be the same way, even though that's voted on, that's not part of the normal vote, that's more of millage, different vote. But there's also fire, which is the townships. County has nothing to do with fire. Sure. Fire, as we have seen out west, is probably just as important as anything else that's going on. That area out there could burn big. If you ever do that. And has, yes. There's little big fires out there.
I understand.
Those townships are funding, usually by a millage, right, to provide that fire service to, as part of their service to the federal ground too. Now, federals do pay usually for a fire well. They
We
agree.
have one township that does not have a fire millage.
I'm
I'm
just
not
about-
sure that would be one.
Curtis has one, Millen has one, I think it was Curtis has one.
Yes, they do, and Edward was just two.
Yeah, I
I
don't
thought there
know,
was one that didn't, but it's kind of irrelevant. But,
but it's part of, there's one. Isn't it?
Not sure.
City. So they contract
They
with the city. Does the city have? But that's my point would be, yes, there's the three services of police, ambulance, and there's fire. No. We have them all with fire.
and schools and roads.
Roads is a separate issue, and so in my opinion is the schools. We're talking about the main part of the Pelt monies was police. Fire, and EMS, is it not?
The phrasing in the law
Uh-huh.
cites them all equally, I believe, unless you rank them by the verbiage in the law, which I don't remember what order they are in. But, did I do that to you, that copy of the law?
You know, if I can say something, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I understand, but also, I mean, I could not support this right now until I'd like to see the financial situation in all these townships. I mean, what shape are they in? I mean, this PILT money came to the county for years and years. It was always came to the county. Then some reason, how many years ago, 20 years ago, whatever, this board, somebody sitting on this board decided to split up this PILT money within the townships. It wasn't never right directly to the townships. It was all county. It comes to the county.
Right.
Comes to the county. But it never went to the townships, my understanding at the beginning.
I think it was going to the townships a long time ago. I don't know what the history would be, but
Whatever
I would
it
say back
was.
in the 80s.
A couple of years
was correct.
ago,
Yeah.
this question surfaced a
Oh, yeah.
couple of years ago.
Mhm.
And we did,
Extensive
I was
search.
involved in looking at the percentage and the dollar value that was remaining as a fund balance in each of the townships where there was PILT money. The county put nothing into their fund balance that year, or maybe $1 or $2.
Mhm.
And the others all put money in, except for one. They put money in excess of, or within 4+ figures. And one of them only had like 800 some odd dollars that they put into the fund balance at the end of the year that I looked at.
Okay, we're talking about situations that happened in the past, correct?
3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
4
I've been
years,
on,
2 years
this is
ago.
my 4th year, so we were extensively.
It's
into this.
relatively recent.
Yeah, like 3 years ago, and I guess I just,
Yeah,
I just know where the counties, where our funds, or our reserve funds have went, where our monies went. We're not able to increase the taxes to our taxpayers. They don't want to approve any kind of millage for working capital that we need in this county. And yet they want this money. And I know where Alcona and Caledonia sit as far as how much money they have in their budgets and that. And when they have extremely amounts of money in their budget and reserve, and yet want a couple $1,000s of their PILT money because they say they need it. I have a hard time because I know the county needs it. So I would really like to see before, you know, I mean, you know, I mean, read nothing, I understand all this, but the one letter says, you know, we need funds to subscribe to make a new township hall. I'm sorry, but if a township wants a new township hall, the citizens are the ones that are private village property for it. You know, so, you know, so that's where I'm coming from.
Okay. The one thing I would say, Dan, is your two townships are probably two of the best off townships in the county.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a high village rate, and there's no doubt they have a high. The townships that I'm talking about, because of this pelt money, that has not been, because the pelt money is for payment of the federal ground that's in the township. So we're talking about, Mankato is almost a full geographical township, a federal ground. Millen is more than just a geographical township. Mitchell has a full geographical township. Curtis has almost a full geographical. That's what's hindering. If they had private businesses and private ownership, they would have a lot more money too, just like Caledonia and Alcona. Because they're, though Alcona does have some.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that's an argument, these, you're really comparing an apple to an orange in that case. I mean, these little townships, particularly Millen Township, is just scraping. I mean, they told me at their last meeting, they had a $5,000 bill, and they have to dip it into their reserves to pay that. And they got $1,000 grant. No, that's the kind of. Yeah. That's my presentation.
Thanks, Terry. Anybody else in discussion? Well, there's a motion and a second on the table.
I'd ask for a roll call.
Terry, press the roll call. Are you ready?
Thompson,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Reggie,
No.
Brumman,
No,
Gothier.
No,
The board's done.
Next item. Ceiling of roofing bids. How exciting is this going to be?
That was only Thompson.
Oh, well,
I was gonna
really
say,
bad.
what do you do?
Well, I know, I Caledonia Township ordinance, do you want to vote on this right now? Do we need to, or is it the 30-day standard?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I think it's just-
Dan, that's your.
well, this is the first time I've seen it, so.
to the best of your knowledge, it doesn't need to be expedited.
No, does not need to be.
I didn't see anything about that either, where they were asking to get it done quicker, so.
No.
In that case, we just, review it and acknowledge receipt.
Yeah.
If they don't hear from us in 30 days, then it's an automatic, approval.
This isn't coming from the planning commission, this is coming from zone, this is a zoning ordinance change, right?
Right. Yep.
That's, I mean, I can find out more, but at this point in time, this first time I was never even told about it, so
Well, if you come back and ask you to
I can find out.
expedite, we can talk about it next time.
Yeah, let's just move it to next month's, next meeting. agenda.
Okay.
I'll find out more.
Now let's do the roofing bids.
Okay,
I get my attention.
Oh, there he is.
3 bids. I'm gonna go ahead and open them up for you. and
Dave, you want to come to
hand
the table and give us a 2 cents on it?
it
Sure. So rate of inflation is 2.7 cents.
over. There you go, sir.
Let's see. Postage, so I don't know.
Page 3.
This one's from, this one, well, you got three of them.
First one is from Great Lakes Roofing. Installations, and they're all quoting exactly the same thing,
Yeah.
right?
All the spec sheets that were provided.
For the benefit of the people listening and the people here, what exactly is it entail? I mean, what in
Yeah.
general does it entail?
Basically, it's gonna taking the existing roof deck all the way down to the substructure, the metal roofing, the original base, 2 layers of insulation, then replacing the roofing on top of that. On all the sections of the roof on top, plus the 5 porches around the building. And along with doing all the porches on the outside, they also have to replace all the gutter work that's on every one of those to the downspouts and the storm sewer drains.
And that's on this building right here.
Just the county building itself.
Complete county.
So the first bid from Great Lakes Roofing and Installation Systems is for $156,000. Read through all the particulars. Oh, what is the date? That would be the project start date.
We have not set a project start date yet.
Spring.
This is gonna be spring of next year. That's what we're bidding it out for,
Yep.
spring of next year.
Okay. Good, great.
Now we can look through all the specifics of it. Today, what we're trying to do is find out where the actual numbers came in at, and then we can look through all the bids.
This bid proposal from TRC Roofing. Which is for $179,432.
432,
432. 179,432.
where are they out?
Okay.
That's all here.
This one's universal roofing.
Great Lakes is still based on UP, isn't it?
One of them is,
Great Lakes is Universal's. Bay
Universal
City.
is the base of the,
Universal's out of Linwood, yeah. Universal Roofing. Their bid is 161,448. $161,448.
You did a good job of putting them in there.
I would like to take credit for that, but I can't. Dave's one ahead of me.
luck of the draw.
I move to receive the 3 roofing bids from each from Great Lakes Roofing, TRC Roofing, and Universal Roofing, and provide them to the Building and Grounds Committee to review for all details.
And hopefully have
And
a
provide
proposal by next Monday, next week.
Good, by the next meeting, okay. So,
Moved and supported. You know that, Trina?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor? Oh, this is money. Should we roll call?
Ready,
Yes.
Gothier.
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Small,
yes.
Brown.
Yes,
Okay. Any other comments for us, Dave?
No, we're just gonna go through the bids, go through specifics and just see where the differences are. The actual roofing itself is gonna be a flat set price, probably pretty close to there. Where the differences in the price are gonna come in, people are looking at different materials for downspouts, for gutters, waste removal, things like that. Because we're requiring them to take everything off site when they leave, so that's where we're gonna basically break down the cost difference and see exactly where the differences are.
Yeah, look at warranties too as you're doing that. You're kind
If
of-
they go through the spec sheet of what they're doing for Duralast roofing, it'll have a 25-year warranty on it.
I'm sure they're all good Duralast.
Yeah.
They're all the same. That company.
Yeah.
So,
There we go, one might choose to be a lot
Right.
higher.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Next item is Mr. Kirk's declaration as brought forward.
I would move that we adopt the declaration as provided by Dr. Curry on November 3rd, 2021.
Is there any support?
I'll support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion?
I feel that what they have done is to address primarily what I'm reading, the autonomy of each individual. There are no mandates in here that I see. There's only an approach that each person needs to be able to make their own decisions. And that we would not figure somebody that just because they have or had not. I certainly am not in a position to medically know if because you have COVID, you shouldn't have to have the shot, or because you had COVID, you should have the shot, or you should just have the booster, or any of that. I feel that they have really modified to the point that they are addressing the individual rights and the fact that we are not medical doctors. We are not in a position to pass judgment on the medical situation. And I think that they've done a good job on it.
I have a slight problem. It talks about where it's just will not require or mandate any employee, prospective employee or contractor in any form of vaccine or similar medical treatment verification as a general condition of employment. In our contracts, we have actual times that would require verification from a medical doctor to come back to work for other reasons, other medical treatment. Would this step on that particular thing?
I don't think so, because this indicates that we choose not to require a form regarding the vaccine.
But read on, and then it says form of vaccine similar or similar medical treatment.
Medical treatment verification. Does. So that goes right. Yeah.
The union contract has sick time, if you misuse your sick time for reasons, you have to have medical documentation.
3 days off.
Right, and
Right.
so.
I feel those are two different things.
Okay.
What if the feds come down and tell us that we've got a mandate?
This does not mandate you to not do that.
No.
If the feds come down, from my perspective, Terry, if the feds come down with, let's say, $100,000.
Fine.
And, but you have to have everybody mandated. I think we've readdressed this. This is, it says we encourage. We choose not to require a vaccine. We could, this has room to change.
But it does say shall.
Where?
Right there. Elkhorn County Board of Commissioners shall not
I
require.
do not see the word shall on this document.
But that's not the one that we're doing.
This is the one we're
No,
doing.
this is the new one.
This is the declaration.
That's the old one, Bill. There's the new one.
I still got my portion in there, similar medical treatment. Sorry, I will.
No,
be
you're correct.
corrected.
You're correct, that is there. But I think this is I don't want to say milder, but I can comfortably support this, and I would hope that a majority of you could comfortably support this. And I guess if not,
I won't ask.
we've been invited to let Dr. Turk or whoever he's working with, let them know what are the problems that you have with it. I think he didn't just come in for one, he is still here. He didn't just come in and charge him. There's a group of them, I guess, that are working on this. And they've invited us to change it or to modify as to meet our needs.
Dr. Turk, if I can ask you a question. This, I mean, you've done a great job of changing this and doing that, but this is, the vague is not the right word, but this is so watered down that passing a resolution like this, what do
It's not a
you?
resolution though. It's not a resolution,
Oh, this is just a declaration.
it's a declaration,
Oh,
it's a
so-
statement of
Oh,
position.
it's just a statement, okay. Then, excuse me. If it was a resolution, it's like, what is it worth? But I see, this is just a declaration.
It's a statement of a position.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what declaration means.
Any other comment? We want to roll call this? I do. Let's roll call it.
Small,
No,
Thompson,
No.
Braggy,
No.
Brahman,
Yes,
Gothier.
Yes.
I guess I would ask if you voted no, or even if you voted yes. Find out who, let Dr. Turk know the areas that you're concerned with, and perhaps it can come back to us in a slightly different format.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Would you mind?
Next is the finance report. That's us.
Okay.
Oh, trying to get 2022 budgets done up. I've been working with our people, and there hasn't been a whole lot of other things going on besides that. Cheryl sends me stuff from time to time to review and take care of. We do have some things I want to talk about in our closed session regarding unions, but other than that, I don't have anything to report today.
One thing we have another bill from our attorneys regarding the lawsuit going on. And I'm glad to report it's only $105.
What?
I can't believe they wasted the paper for $105. But anyway, we have another one of those. We have the money in account.
Oh, well.
We also received through Consumers Energy, our EDC has received $1,000 donation from Consumers Energy to be used as whatever they deem fit. It's just Consumers is doing that for a lot of the areas around Michigan, and we have $1,000 check that I'll give to Cheryl that she can put into the EDC. And
Well,
this-
either Doug or you or somebody write up.
Yeah, Doug and I talked about it. And this was sitting on my desk, Carolyn, is this from you? Operational items. Oh, this might be from Cheryl on the liquor tax portion. So operational line transfer. Oh, it's sitting on my desk.
Oh. They're requesting, it would appear to me, what I'm seeing is, and it looks like Steph's handwriting.
Oh,
It's missing $245.50. The line item needs to be adjusted, it appears to me, the
oh,
line
that's what
item
it
needs
is.
to be adjusted by $245.50 in
Okay.
order to pay the bill.
All right, we'll look at it. That's all I have.
Okay, personnel.
We are asking to have closed session for union things, and I think that's all we have.
Okay, treasurer's report.
General fund is running as of today, and then black again, $20,000. I've been getting a few communications. I did get your email or your budget
What I
that we
dropped
do
off.
need to discuss.
Yep.
There's a few things. There have been a few correspondence in regards to the scale grant and the Department of Justice grants. And that will be brought up at the finance meeting in regards to, I know there was a discussion a few weeks ago in regards to timeliness of filings, and we were trying to work on that. I haven't had a lot back. We've had a situation that I've mentioned before in regards to the foreclosure, that a lot more information has come through. And that has been our main focus in the treasurer's office right now, other than getting all the dogs in Alcon County legal. We've had a lot of people coming in buying their dog licenses, so we are still getting a little bit less than normal tax payments that are coming in. Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, what was the first grant that you mentioned?
The drug court grants, the
Oh,
SCAO
okay.
and the BJA, in regards to those, is that they're with the Department of Justice.
Okay, I wondered if there was one I should be jumping on.
Oh,
But no, okay, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
there was just we just need to get that in check. Looking at 2021 budgets, there are quite a few that are skewed, as you have seen, with the different needs in the different departments. I've been reviewing them, sending out correspondence to people, not getting very timely responses, and in the meantime, things are being changed individually by department, which is, I'm here to just analyze. As far as I can only do what I can do, so I'm providing that information. So I guess I don't know, I guess I'm asking the board what you would like me to do when I send out these correspondence. Does the entire board want it, because you are responsible for the budget? My job is to just give you the information that I feel appropriate, would be appropriate moves, and I've been doing that through finance. Would you prefer to have it, the whole board notified for any of these changes that are happening? I'm not sure how you want to handle it. That wasn't really clear.
Well, the whole board is budget committee, but it's up, you guys want correspondence and all the nuts and bolts of what's going on? Every little thing that gets moved,
I
or
would leave that up to finance. to whether or not.
I would like to.
Yeah.
If it's not
Okay.
too much, quick, I
Just
mean.
add three
just
more
gotta
names
copy
to an
three more
email.
names.
I didn't think it would be too much.
And I think that's the spirit of,
Just go up and put first initial in.
that's the spirit of it, then, I guess they wanna be included, so.
I just need to
Which
know,
is fine.
because that saves me from sending the finance, and then when a question comes back to me, sending it to the whole board when it involves the board in itself, as far as things such as the EDC and the Harbor Town. That Harbor Town is specific for the committees, but I'm sending it to you, I'm sending it to a committee, and then you're the only one that really didn't know. So now, keeping everyone in the loop, if that's the process you want me to follow for the rest of the year, then I can do that.
Yeah,
And
thank
that
you.
will eliminate any questions.
That will eliminate, that's a funny word. That will reduce.
Reduce.
That's not promising.
No. Okay. That's what we're, and then the 2022 budgets are all, everything that I've received, with the exception of the documents I got yesterday, are all in the computer. I'm ready to go. I did receive from the Veterans Committee their budget, their updated budget. They had originally sent one in a few weeks ago, and then after a few discussions, they didn't have all of the information that I felt was appropriate to be in their budget, and I had a discussion with them, and they have now done that, and I will have that one updated by the end of the week, along with the other one that I received yesterday. There was a few. That's where I am. Does anyone have any questions?
Well, thanks, Cheryl. Clerk's report.
We have nothing to report today.
Okay. With that being said, request a 5-minute recess, and then we'll come back and go into closed session.
This gonna be a long closed session.
It could be. He's gonna bring it up on the report.
Words a better use.
Yeah.
All right. It's just-
Yeah, smoke what you got.
Even-
Back live. Do your roll call for my close? No, that was the reset. I
We
don't
do need to do a roll call.
We have to do a roll call.
know. Yeah, I'll start one here, but we can do it anyway. Mom sitting there, waiting for us to come back. There we go. We're live. Okay, back out of closed session, roll call, please.
Reggie,
Here.
Gothier.
Here.
Thompson,
Here.
Roman, here, Small.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the authorization of the letter from the chairman of the board regarding the healthcare.
Look, you're out though.
I'm outing of the health.
Opt out. The healthcare.
Payment in lieu of,
Payment in lieu.
in lieu of.
Oh, don't say that. That reminds me of something else. You got something over there? What do you got?
Motion to authorize the chair to sign the letter to approve the cash in lieu.
Cash and lieu.
Cash in lieu, there you go.
Health insurance.
Good job, Trina.
Do I have a second? Motion a second. Let's do a roll call.
Oh, sorry. Small,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Reggie,
Yes.
Roman,
Yes.
Gothier.
Second motion, I'll do it. Motion to authorize personnel committee to proceed as discussed on union negotiations with Union 214.
Support.
Moved and supported. Ready, roll call for this? Actually, let's do it. Roll call.
Roman,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Gothier.
Yeah.
Reggie,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
The next motion is to authorize personnel to proceed as discussed with union negotiations for Union 342.
Support.
Moved and supported. Roll call.
Small,
Yes.
Gothier.
Yes.
Reggie,
Yes.
Roman,
Yes.
Thompson.
Communications, you have several in your packets. Peruse them at your leisure. Committee reports. Anybody want to weigh in on committees?
Nice time over in City for a couple of days, and we're in the mental health convention.
You didn't take us for mental health?
Nope. Oh, you got me.
Oh, we need it, Jerry. We need it. I need it.
I was gonna say, it was interesting, a lot of talk, another kind of one of the biggest, parts of the talk was the fact that, of the legislation that was going through, and they're fighting everything. So they had their prediction of what.
I'd really like to see us write a letter, Jerry, in opposition.
That way, I think we already passed the motion. didn't we?
Yeah, I thought we did.
Yeah, we did.
I didn't know, okay.
Yeah, we did. We passed the motion in opposed to
But
the
did
bill.
a communication go out to anybody, to our representatives?
It was part of it. You have to look it up. See
Yeah,
the
and
minutes.
it was, a lot of the communications were brought forward at the convention.
I sort of remember a motion in opposition, but I don't remember discussion on signing it, but.
I know we
I'd like
passed
to,
that one.
yeah, I would like to see us make sure that there's something in writing that goes out to Sue and to, what's his name?
I think there,
Um,
I won't go into the details, but ask me after the meeting.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Me, committees?
Yeah,
Been laid up.
yeah. I don't have anything significant to report. How about you, Bill?
Well, Thunder Bay Transit have their article of incorporation passed out. What they did, evidently you guys have signed here maybe 2 years ago of the same thing. And then when all counties that are involved in Thunder Bay, there's 4 of them, have to sign it on. And when it got to Alpena, they made some changes. The board has gone through and redid the changes, and they're so marked with lines through it. The one that I caught that didn't make any sense is on the very first page. It's Article 9. It's part 3 where it says the members of the board must be at least 18 years of age and residents, and then there's a scratch the line, but it doesn't go anywhere. And I got a hold of Angie, and what she was saying is the whole sentence that should be residents of Thunder Bay area was to be scratched, so therefore there's no residency required for sitting on the board. There are requirements for the 4 counties to be representative, and then they can have an alternative, but the other people don't have to live in the county that's being serviced, and that's our problem. We have a lot of people that one lives in Travis, or in Tawas, and another one lives someplace else. They do work in and out of Alpena, and again, we're already a board member, so they're trying to open up the door. Along with the other things in there are name changes for the hospitals. At one point, it was still Alpena Hospital was still mentioned, and it's Mid-Michigan and things like that. They're just broadening the area that they can get members from. Is the core of what was done. They didn't find anything else that was outstanding. You don't have to vote on it right now, but we do have to vote it, and then I can take it back, have to give you a chance to read it. That's all. Of course, there's been unions every day. The other thing I've been working on is the ACCOA contract, and I'm in a sort of a dilemma with it. The original contract says that they're supposed to give us reports on a quarterly basis on their information and so forth. When I emailed a letter to Avery, his response was, you, meaning me, show up there and you're given monthly documentation, and it does tell what they're doing, dollar percents and so forth. And that's what they felt was, his answer was item 10 and 11, which deals with reports. This is the contract states that we should be quarterly. However, you receive a report monthly when you attend our meetings. These reports have all of the monthly purchases, things that we've done, our finances for the month, any acquisitions, all provided with detail, which is true. The monthly thing is true. My first 3 months there, they put them in a book, a binder, which was kept on their thing. When I walked out the door, that book had to stay. So there was no way for me to bring you back here. Just this last month, I got it in email form and finally saw the a layout of the actual finance portion. They're all supposed to have insurance given to us, and they do have an insurance policy on record that needs to be renewed during the contract. Sort of in fine print, it does say everything. You know, it's one of these blanket ones where it does talk about properties and vehicles, and it's all on one page. At first, I thought it was only one, but I'm at a little bit of a stopping. I haven't gotten any farther than that. I mean, in one text, he hasn't really given us anything this contract year to report on, other than what he has indicated that you're supposed to be doing it from your reports. And I thought that it would be something that he might even present to us on a quarterly basis, and that hasn't happened.
I feel very strongly that what he gives to our liaison is not a report to the board.
No, it's not.
The contract says you will report to the board, and that's what we should have. I believe that's what we should have. And he is sliding right over that, and I think that we just got to demand that. And my suggestion was that a communication go back to him that says we are not going to begin working on the 2022 contract with you until you have fulfilled all of your obligations as far as the 2021 contract, which would include these quarterly reports.
Yeah, the actual contract is the Commission on Aging shall provide a full report of services compensated by the millage reflecting the dollar amount applicable to each service, and shall provide a financial summary of the position on the Commission of Aging on a not less than quarterly basis. Without about any major major financial deviation shall be reported to the Board of Commissioners within 15 days. right now, we haven't had any report back to my knowledge on their movement on the building or land, or we did get,
It's kind of died, isn't it?
well, they bought the property.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't heard anything.
No.
There, and I heard that on the news.
Right.
For the paper.
So one of my concerns is, that he told me directly. I said, what is your funding source? And he said, well, first of all, he said, we get interest. I said, the interest on your tax dollar must follow your tax dollar. Interest follows principal. And he said, no, we can use it anyway. And I said, I don't believe you can. And he said, well, you don't know. And I wanted to say, yeah, I really do know, Lenny. I'm sorry, I do know. But there is abuse, I believe. No, that's too strong a word. Fudging on the corners. Maybe puts it politely. And we have an obligation to know that our tax dollars that our citizens give us are properly being held. And if they're not, we can hold those up. We don't have to go with ACCOA. If somebody else comes in and gives us a better program for our seniors, we can go with them. We are not committed to ACCOA. I'm not advocating that we do go with anybody else, of course. Nobody else is.
Denise will come in and give us a.
But he has obligations to that contract. And part of those obligations are that he makes us aware. And I'm concerned with the commingling of dollars. So I would like to, I don't know if we need a motion, I don't think we do, but I would like to see a letter that would go out either through Bill as liaison or through Adam as chairman of the board that says that on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we believe that a quarterly report, we need one from December as well as end of March, end of June, and now the end of September. Full quarterly reports reflecting all dollar revenue and expenditures. I don't think that's unreasonable.
Bill, if you would, put together a letter, I'll sign it and I'll work with you on this.
Okay.
We'll go ahead. So,
All right. Thank you.
I mean, everybody else does this.
Mhm.
And Missy was in today giving us a quarterly report.
MSU does, everybody.
Yeah.
anything else, Bill?
Nope.
Carolyn,
Laura has made some new regulations, which is affecting staffing at Sunrise. LEPC, there are no, the 2018 Homeland Security grant paperwork has been submitted for the radios. That's all in process. No new plans have come forward with that are Sarah titled that, and that's the reports on the oil and gas wells in the county. There are no new reviews that have come forward. And then been doing just a little bit with unions. Ever so slight.
okay, last section of public comment. Scott,
Afternoon. I left on the table over here for the clerk and the treasurer, the write-offs for the months of September and October. September was $15,354.60. October's write-offs were $32,558.12. And based on the first 10 months of the year, we are right on target for $313,000 for the write-offs, which is what we budgeted.
I would so move that we approve the write-offs as presented for September and October.
support. Moved and seconded, for discussion. Roll call.
Gatia,
Yeah. Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes,
Small,
Yes.
Reagan.
Yes.
I want to apologize for one of our employees who opened up public comments this afternoon. We can discuss this openly as a whole, or I can go to the EMS committee, the finance committee, or the personnel committee, it doesn't matter. How you would like to proceed or what you would like to do.
I think that'd be best or wisest thing to do. Approach committee.
Okay, we'll do that.
That's my opinion as a commissioner. Sorry.
That's fine.
Now you guys
Okay.
have to agree.
That's
Thank you.
fine. All I have.
I guess my comment, if I may, and Scott, we have some things to go over with, but I would like to see Scott talk to the two of you. We're going to be talking to him on some others, that we just went through, so.
Yep.
That would be,
No, we definitely have a skin in the game. Any other public comment on the internet? Okay, well, then meeting adjourned until the next regular meeting on November 17th. Thanks for tuning in. Sure to come to our next exciting episode of Gus and Corona County Commission.